as I promised, I am putting together a video to show you a bonus art project. Again, you do not have to do this one. It's only if you want to do an extra project that you could use to enhance the project that we're going to do on Friday. I showed you what it looked like in my first video, and what I'm doing right now is I'm just drawing out the wind shapes and the moon shape. And I'm doing the wind shapes by doing swirlies, and I'm doing the stars by doing little circles with a bigger circle around them. And hopefully you can kind of see where my graphite lines were. I'm going over them now with the actual colors using Crayon. So I used orange for the moon because that's what Vincent van Gogh did. And then, do you remember how I said he used light little kind of choppy strokes? And he had a halo around his moon, which is what I'm doing right now. And I'm just adding all of the colors that Vincent van Gogh also used in his Starry Night painting. So the moon is orange, but he has kind of a yellowish halo around the outside. And I'm kind of trying to aim for those purple spots just to kind of camouflage those, I guess, or to cover them up a little bit. And then I noticed that Vincent van Gogh had kind of a green tinge around the outside of his halo. Now I'm taking that swirly wind shape and I'm just making small little choppy strokes with my Crayon. Remember how I said a Crayon is almost like a little paint stick? So I'm just laying down little lines of paint or Crayon. Crayons are actually an oil-based crayon, and that's why they show up so nicely on colored paper like construction paper. Oh, I don't think I told you that either. Get one of your pieces of construction paper to do your Starry Night background on. For a couple of reasons. First of all, the size will be great, and secondly, the color of that purple is going to show through. Now on my first example, I used a blue sheet. I'm out of blue because I used a lot of blue for my February project too. But I would have preferred a blue piece of paper, but I think the purple will look fine. And again, I'm looking at Vincent van Gogh's wind shapes, and I'm noticing that he has greens and blues. And right now I'm doing the stars. So I started with the star, and I'm doing short little choppy kind of segmented lines around the stars. And I'm just building this up slowly. Right here I noticed I didn't have anything there, and I'm like, it's kind of a big negative space. Do you remember that term? So I filled in that negative space, and I'm coming over with a little bit of white just to really, you can see how the white really shows up good on the colored construction paper. And putting it around my wind. And my wind isn't exactly like Vincent van Gogh's. Matter of fact, his kind of interlocks with each other, and mine doesn't. That's okay. You can have your own wind. This is just inspired by Vincent van Gogh. And I'm making those wind shapes a little wider. Hopefully you can see that I'm not just going over the lines, I'm widening them. And I'm widening the halo around the stars. And I'm really filling in those areas where the purple is still showing through. I don't know if you noticed that I kind of shook my hand there a little while ago. It was getting kind of sore from all the hard drawing I've been doing. And you do have to press kind of hard, not to the point where you break them, but you do have to press a little hard with crayons. Now I noticed Vincent van Gogh had a little orange spot in the center of his star, kind of made it look hot. Orange is one of the warm colors. So I'm going back and I'm putting that in, and wow, does that ever add a lot. I really like that. And now I'm just putting a little more orange in the moon, and I'm pretty close to being done. I'm just kind of putting finishing touches on. I'm looking to see where there's too much purple showing, seeing if there's some spots where I can put different colors. Here I'm coming back into the wind swirls. This is a gray. I was showing you that that's a gray color. And I'm widening them out so I don't have so much negative space. And we learned all about negative space last month. And now I took a blue. I noticed that Vincent van Gogh's background was a little bit more blue, and even his blue has those short, choppy strokes. So I told you I didn't pick blue for my background color because I was out. That's why I picked purple. But I figured this would be a really great way to get more of that blue color that I wanted. And again, I think it's really adding a lot. It's not quite so flat. So I'm making that negative space where the purple was look a little more interesting by adding the blue. Oh, and I just turned it over so that you could see what the back looked like, and now this is the front.